Oh my goodness, it finally happened. Kirk Frost truly believed he could continue to get away with this mess. But the truth just knocked on his front door while wearing handcuffs. Yes, you heard me correctly. Kirk Frost was arrested for allegedly assaulting Rasheeda. The details are messy, so before you say, never again, I'll say, yes again. And this time, it's not just some scandal or secret baby drama. According to reports, police were called to the Frost residence following an explosive altercation that left Rasheeda upset. Kirk was escorted out in handcuffs, appearing to have just realized that his entire empire was about to fall apart. However, rumors are circulating that this isn't just a fight. Rather, it could be the fallout from years of treachery, shady business dealings, and emotional warfare. Did Rasheeda finally reach her breaking point? Did Kirk lose it because his dark secrets were about to be revealed? Or is this just another chaotic chapter in the never-ending Frost saga? Grab some popcorn and settle in because we've seen Kirk Frost in some sticky situations before for cheating scandals, side babies, and shady business moves. But this baby is on a whole new level. Kirk Frost is currently sitting in a jail cell after allegedly assaulting Rasheeda. Yes, the Rasheeda, and before you say, oh, it's just another messy celebrity. Let's get started. If you hear the details of what actually happened that night, you might never look at Kirk and Rasheeda the same way again. Allow me to explain the details of this incident for you. It was a normal night at the Frost household, or so everyone thought, and they probably pretended that their entire empire was still intact. However, tension had been simmering behind closed doors for months, and we were even surprised after everything Kirk had done to Rasheeda over the years, including cheating scandals, financial manipulation, public humiliation, and more. This man was fortunate. According to sources close to the couple, who are generally trustworthy, Rasheeda recently confronted Kirk about some dubious business dealings he had been making behind her back. The rumor is that Kirk had been transferring money from their joint accounts into some private ventures. And guess what? Those ventures allegedly involved another woman. This time, however, she didn't just consider leaving him. She made it known. Empire and supporting Kirk. This man was allegedly out here snooping on someone else's lifestyle. As you are all aware, Rasheeda has endured a lot with Kirk before we all witnessed how she stuck by him during the entire Jasmine Washington paternity drama. Yes, in case you forgot, Kirk had a whole side baby on Rasheeda while grinning in her face as though he was the ideal husband, but even after that, she stayed, and even after Kirk was caught repeatedly snooping, she continued to steal money from her, which was the final straw. Here's what reportedly happened. It was late at night, and while looking through financial records, Rasheeda noticed some discrepancies. She noticed large amounts of money missing from wire transfers to offshore accounts, and she noticed fake business names appearing in their records. Rasheeda confronted Kirk, and instead of coming clean like a grown man, Kirk tried to gaslight her by saying the classic, "You're overreacting and you're just stressed out," but Rasheeda wasn't having it. As far as I can tell, Rasheeda was screaming, demanding answers, and asking Kirk directly if he was funding another woman behind her back. Kirk, being the smooth-talking manipulator that he is, allegedly tried to laugh it off at first, but when Rasheeda produced receipts, it got serious. Kirk reportedly became defensive, saying that Rasheeda never showed gratitude for him and that he was the one who created this empire, as if she hadn't been working with him for years and that Rasheeda wasn't supporting him. Down sources claimed that after more than an hour of back and forth, Kirk said something that went too far. We're not sure what exactly he said, but it pushed Rasheeda over the edge. According to the police report, which is complete, Kirk allegedly grabbed Rasheeda's arm and pushed her against a wall. Neighbors claimed they heard Rasheeda yelling, and then, when the police arrived, Kirk was allegedly standing in the living room looking really calm, as if nothing had happened, while Rasheeda was reportedly crying with red, swollen eyes. The police questioned both of them, but after taking one look at Rasheeda and possibly even noticing some bruises, they immediately cuffed Kirk. After hearing loud crashing noises, one neighbor even told reporters that they heard glass breaking, and then there was silence. When the police asked Kirk why he touched Rasheeda, he allegedly said, "It's not that serious, excuse me, sir. You put your hands on your wife and get arrested in your own house and think it's not that serious." Now, you know Kirk has a history of shady behavior, but this is a whole new low. And the fact that he thought he could just brush it off as if it were nothing tells you everything you need to know about Kirk Frost. The moment the news broke about Kirk Frost's arrest, social media went crazy. The only shocking aspect of the story is that it took Rasheeda this long to finally say enough is enough. According to sources, as soon as Kirk was taken away in handcuffs, Rasheeda called her lawyer, and word is that she's planning to file for divorce as soon as you get the chance. Not only that, but she's coming for half of everything Kirk owns. Trending within an hour, some people were shocked, but honestly, most people were saying we've been new because, let's face it, Kirk has been out here moving foul for years. Kirk may be a manipulator, but Rasheeda is a businesswoman who is well versed in this game. If Kirk thought he was going to leave this unpunished, he's going to have a rude awakening. But wait, this isn't even the wildest part of the story. Rumor has it that this fight wasn't just about money. It may have been about a secret that Kirk has been keeping for years. Once you find out what that secret is, you'll be shocked, but you'll have to watch part 2 for that tea. Because believe me, this story is just getting started. If you thought part 1 was messy, you haven't heard anything yet because the truth about Kirk Frost's arrest is even more disgusting than we initially believed. As we left off, Kirk had just been taken away in handcuffs after allegedly touching Rasheeda. To refresh your memory, this wasn't just a heated argument that went out of control. Rather, it was the result of years of betrayal, financial manipulation, and emotional warfare, and Rasheeda, finally snapped in. To be honest, I don't blame her. But this is the part that will make you clutch your pearls because there's more to the scandal than just the money, baby. It's going to make Kirk appear even worse than he already does. You recall how I said that Kirk had allegedly been putting money into private ventures, possibly to support another woman? Well, it turns out that wasn't just a rumor, and the woman involved, let's just say Rasheeda knew her very well. Source is close to the situation. Those who frequently visited the Frost house claimed that Rasheeda recently learned that Kirk had been covertly helping one of her closest friends. That's right, it wasn't just any random Instagram model or a woman he met at a friend's club. It was someone Rasheeda trusted who had been in their home with their children, sitting at their table as if nothing were wrong. In fact, Rasheeda had been suspicious for months, observing how this so-called friend was living a little too comfortably. For a long time, Rasheeda couldn't understand how this girl was able to afford all of it, including pricey handbags, first-class flights, and luxury vacations. However, one day, one of her other friends told Rasheeda that they had seen Kirk and this woman together at a posh hotel in Atlanta, and guess what? They weren't just talking. Rasheeda confronted Kirk right away, and according to sources, Kirk didn't even attempt to deny it at first. Instead, he hit her with the classic gaslighting. Talking about business, but when Rasheeda inquired about the nature of their conversation, they were in a private hotel suite at 2:00 a.m. According to those with knowledge of the matter, Kirk allegedly lost it at that point. He verbally and emotionally attacked Rasheeda, calling her insecure and domineering. And then he said the one thing that completely turned the situation upside down. Maybe if you paid more attention to me, I wouldn't have to go looking elsewhere. Excuse me, sir. This is how you justify your betrayal, but believe me, it gets worse because after that argument, Rasheeda apparently told Kirk she was done, like really done, telling him she was calling her lawyer and filing for divorce. This is the same Rasheeda who followed you after you had a side baby, the same Rasheeda who built your entire empire while you were out creeping in the streets, and the same Rasheeda who remained faithful to you when every other woman would have left years ago. The police report claims that when they realized they were going to lose their meal ticket, Kirk took Rasheeda's phone out of her hand and attempted to erase the evidence. When Rasheeda attempted to retrieve her phone, Kirk allegedly grabbed her wrist violently and pushed her against the wall, causing her to scream loudly enough for the neighbors to hear. Let's talk about the arrest now, as there is much more to this than just a simple domestic disturbance call. He was blatantly conceited. When officers reportedly asked Kirk what had happened, he allegedly said, "She's overreacting. It's just a misunderstanding, sir." How is physically touching your wife, a woman you've publicly humiliated for years, a misunderstanding? But this is the part that really sealed Kirk's doom. When the police searched his phone as part of the investigation, they discovered hundreds of text messages between Kirk and this so-called friend, and guess what? The messages weren't about business. According to the receipts, Kirk and this woman had been in a serious relationship for more than a year. They had all of their plane tickets, cart payments, money transfers, shopping trips, and even adorable pet names for one another. One of the messages purportedly said, "Don't worry, baby. As soon as I'm done with Rasheeda, we can finally be together." Excuse me, sir. This man was out here planning his exit strategy while Rasheeda was out trying to maintain the empire they had built together, and he was so sure he'd get away with it. You already know what that means, fraud. Yes, Kirk wasn't just cheating, he was allegedly committing financial fraud. The police also discovered bank records, and guess what else? Baby Kirk had been transferring large sums of money into this woman's account. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, money that should have gone into Rasheeda's business accounts. The money that Rasheeda earned was being used to finance this woman's luxurious lifestyle. Discovered that Kirk was using fictitious business accounts and personal transfers to move that amount of money, and that's when it turned into more than just a domestic dispute. Now, Kirk faces charges of embezzlement and fraud in addition to domestic violence, and if those charges are upheld, he could lose his freedom as well. Rasheeda Osis is already 10 steps ahead, according to sources, who say that as soon as Kirk was arrested, she contacted her legal team and instructed them to begin investigating. Rasheeda wants full custody of their joint business assets and is prepared to sue Kirk for everything he owns. To be honest, I don't blame her because Kirk deserves what T is getting after years of public humiliation, side babies, and now alleged financial betrayal. However, the story isn't finished because now that Kirk's legal issues are public, some other people are starting to come forward, and what they're saying about Kirk is going to make this whole scandal look even worse because keep in mind that it turns out that she wasn't the only friend Kirk was allegedly involved with. The woman speaking out has receipts, and once you hear what she's accusing Kirk of, you're going to be shaken. However, you'll have to wait until part 3 because, believe me, this story is about to take a turn that you won't soon forget. If you thought parts 1 and 2 were messy, you better get ready for this one because Kirk Frost's legal issues are just the beginning. As we left off, Kirk had just been arrested for allegedly assaulting Rasheeda after she confronted him about funneling money into private accounts, some of which were allegedly connected to one of Rasheeda's so-called friends. As if that wasn't bad enough, the police found text messages and financial records proving that Kirk had previously engaged in actions that could have ended his career, destroyed his reputation, and possibly resulted in jail time. Been using Rasheeda's hard-earned money to support this woman's lifestyle. But guess what? She's not alone because just when Kirk thought things couldn't get any worse, another woman, not just any woman, but a well-known Atlanta influencer, stepped forward. According to this influencer, who is choosing to remain anonymous for the time being, but you already know the internet, what she's saying about Kirk is going to make the entire scandal appear even dirtier than it already does. Detectives are going to find out who she is. Kirk had been seeing her for more than 2 years, and he had allegedly promised her that he would leave Rasheeda and start a new life with her. This sounds familiar because that's precisely what he told the other woman. But the worst part is that this woman isn't just coming forward with the claim that she said nonsense. She has screenshots, bank statements, phone recordings, and receipts where Kirk allegedly admits to manipulating Rasheeda and lying to her about business dealings, and to make matters worse, He allegedly used Rasheeda's company as security for a private loan to finance his lifestyle with this woman. Excuse me, sir. Let's get right to the point. Kirk was accused of cheating on Rasheeda with several women and of using the company's assets to finance his extramarital affairs. He was also allegedly involved in shady business dealings that could now result in charges of embezzlement and fraud. Later, other people began speaking up. According to some sources, including former co-workers of Kirk and Rasheeda, Kirk had been involved in money laundering through their company for years. Rumor has it that Kirk had been hiding money from Rasheeda and the government by using offshore accounts and shell companies. Apparently, Kirk would move money from their business accounts into these phony companies, then transfer the money into private accounts under his name. You can guess who was allegedly helping him set up these accounts. That's right. The friend Kirk was allegedly involved with was involved in a full-fledged scam. When Rasheeda learned that Kirk had been cheating, she didn't just sit back and cry. Instead, she immediately went into businesswoman mode after Kirk's arrest. According to sources, she is already working with a team of forensic accountants and legal advisors to freeze all of Kirk's business accounts. The real gag is that Kirk allegedly violated their business agreement because Rasheeda and Kirk were legally partners. Rasheeda is entitled to deprive Kirk of his ownership stake in their businesses by using joint funds for personal expenses. Yes, Kirk could lose the entire Frost empire in addition to his marriage. But trust me, Rasheeda is not playing games. She has already requested an emergency hearing to freeze all shared assets until the investigation is finished. And if Kirk is found guilty of financial fraud, then his life is over. But here's the part that will truly blow your mind. Recall how Kirk had been telling both. According to some leaked text messages, Kirk allegedly tried to sell off his share of their business behind Rasheeda's back in order to walk away with a clean payout. However, the deal fell through, and you can guess why. Rasheeda's name was on the contract, and the buyer wasn't about to mess with Rasheeda without her approval. In addition to trying to steal Rasheeda's money, Kirk was caught because Rasheeda's business acumen was smarter than his shady hustle, and now, not only is Kirk facing fraud charges, but he may also be facing conspiracy to commit fraud, which carries the possibility of jail time. The public is blown away by this, and social media went crazy as soon as the news broke. Hashtag Kirk Frost is still trending, and people are dragging Kirk to hell and back. Some people are even saying that Kirk's career is over. Oh, and let's not forget about Rasheeda, who is having a major makeover in the midst of all of this. Wrote on Instagram that sometimes God takes people out of your life for a reason, so trust the process, baby. According to sources, Rasheeda is already in negotiations with several networks to turn this entire scandal into a documentary series. And let me tell you, if Rasheeda drops a surviving Kirk Frost series, it will blow up the internet and send Kirk into a tailspin. Word has it that Kirk's attorneys are already attempting to work out a plea agreement because they know Kirk can't endure a full trial. But the problem is that if Kirk confesses to financial fraud, he will not only lose his business but also his freedom. Rasheeda, of course, has already stated that there is no way out of this situation. At this point, Kirk faces a failed marriage, financial ruin, a potential criminal record, and let's face it, he deserves it because, let's face it, he had years to clean up his mess, a devoted wife who supported him through all his nonsense, and a successful business that Rasheeda helped build, but instead he chose to cheat, lie, and steal. Now, Kirk is sitting in a jail cell wondering how he got here, but the answer is simple. Kirk did this to himself. The question is, will Kirk survive the scandal, or is this the last nail in his career's coffin? The story is far from over, so if you want to hear the next update when Kirk finally speaks out, because yes, he will have to say something, make sure to hit the like button. Go to the channel and activate those alerts because, baby, this scandal is going to get even messier. This story is far from over. Kirk is facing serious charges, financial ruin, and a broken marriage, but can he survive this? Or is this really the end? Rasheeda, on the other hand, isn't holding back when she says she's going to take Kirk for everything. What do you think? Does Kirk deserve this downfall? Is Rasheeda going too far? Can Kirk possibly recover from this? Is his career officially over? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Button and confirm that you are subscribed, as I promise that the upcoming update will be. It's going to become messier.